Maryland.
You got something?
Hi, Marilyn.
No, she would be here too. How was that? She would be here to do
You should know.
that. How should I have known?
All right, friends, we are live. Shabbat Shalom and Good Shabbos.
Good job.
As you can see, we have our sound system, and we'll be tweaking it in here as we go forward. So you might hear, hopefully not so many squeals or screeches, but you might hear some, well, I don't know what you're going to hear. But is my voice louder back there?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Hoyt and I talked about it, and then Scott Murphy and I went and researched it, and we got that is a little bit big for this room, but will work fine out in the social hall when we need a microphone and speakers. So
Thank you.
pearl clutching you can wait and clutch your pearls later. But we had a number of people say that we needed some sort of some for in here. So that is fine. It is a little wet outside on this Ides of March, but you know, if you're not Caesar, then don't worry about it. If you're Julius Caesar,
Watch your back.
stay away from your friends. Watch your back. Watch your back. With friends like those, who needs enemies? And it's Friday night, and we've survived the hour in our time change, so that is a good thing. And Brenda, you want to come up and light the candles for us?
I shall try.
Okay. We'll have you try.
I'll light the candles first, right?
You said yes. Light the candles first. Okay, that gets pushed forward with your thumb, and then you pull the trigger.
No.
Forward, and pull the trigger back. There you go.
There we go. Oops, my arm.
Page 2. You can read that, one of those in English, and then the blessings right there.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindled light. O source of light and truth.
That's right, that's just the top one. You're good. You were good, just the top one. It's one or the other.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher hershanu v'yitzchotav v'tzivanu v'hadlik nir shel Shabbat.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's turn to page 9. Page 9, and let's read responsibly in English. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat, we see God's good fire to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we care nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. All right, let's jump ahead to page 20 as we begin welcoming Shabbat with Kabbalat Shabbat. Page 20 at the top, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamho v'zachor b'dibur echad, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך אפיך, רב לך שבט בימי חמך, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בני בית הלחמי, קורבה אל נפשי גאלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לא תבושי ולא תקומי, מה תשתוכחי מה תהמי, בך יחסו עניי עמי, בני בנתה עיר אל תילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, והיו לשמחה שוסייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהיך, כי המסוס חתן על כלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תעריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, בני שמחה ונגילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובשולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Let's turn to page 22 for some verses from Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat. Let's read the outdented paragraph together in English. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. With a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together, you have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout with joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'eretz balvanot yiskeh shetuli. Bebeit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu, Yahafrichu. O Jenuvun Beseva, דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי אשר אדוני צורי ולא עוולתה בו. Page 24, let's welcome the angels. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Ashari, Malachi Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu li l'shalom malachei HaShalom malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, malachei HaShalom, malachei Elyon. Mi melech, malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Well, we have welcomed the Shabbat, and the Shabbat Queen is with us. Page 146, please rise as we begin the evening service, the Arvit service l'Shabbat with Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Page 147, let's read together in English. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. 148. Avat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, V'shafteinu uvkumeinu, Nasiach bechukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'b'mitzvotecha, Le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayinu, V'yorech yameinu, V'yorech yameinu, U'bahem nehegeh yomam v'layla, Yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha tasir mimenu li'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, Bechol levacha, Ubechol nafshecha, Ubechol me'odecha, Ve'hayu advarim ha'ele, Asher Anochi mitzavecha, Hayom al levavecha, V'shinantam levanecha, V'dibarta bam, V'shivtecha b'veitecha, Uvlektecha v'derech, Uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha, Ukshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeruhu vasitem et kol mitzotai, vitem kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 151, let's read responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. When will redemption come? Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nohurat tehilot, ohosefele, malchutecha ra'u panecha, bokeam lifnei Moshe, zeli anu v'amru, Adonai imloch, Le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar ki fadana et Yaakov, u'ga'alom yet chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael. Top of 153, the beginning of Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'ha'amidenu shoreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, V'ha'amidenu shoreinu l'chaim. Let's read together in English. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. Your true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, V'al kol amo Yisrael, V'al Yerushalayim. Page 154 at the top. Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. La'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam b'rit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. La'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam b'rit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti li'olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. La'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. La'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam b'rit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berith olam. Please rise as we turn to page 155 for the Amidah. We'll chant 155, 156, and 157 together, and then we'll go silently and complete the Amidah on our own, either in Hebrew or in English, or offering up your own prayer during that time. Adonai sifatai tiftach uvi yagid tehillatcha. Adonai sifatai tiftach uvi yagid tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Hagibor Nora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chasdei Avotim Ahot Umevi Goel Livnei Bneihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach Umagin Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim et imatav l'choshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechayim meitim b'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofek oholim, Umatir hasurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha b'gibur, umidom melach, melech nimiz umechayem, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'neman atalach hayod meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei Amesim. Turn to page 160, and let's read together in English. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 163 at the top, a little bit of thanksgiving. Let's read responsively. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. And let's close out, as always, with a prayer for peace. Page 164, Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol eit ubechol sha'ah bishlomecha. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Praise you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevorech et amo Yisrael. Shalom. Let's turn ahead to page 253 for one of our prayers for healing. This one is Misha Berach. Middle of page 253. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. The prayers of our community, pages 258 and 259. Mr. President Hoyt, how about the prayer for our congregation?
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levacha b'yirah na'avod. Laurie, how about the prayer for our country?
O guardian of life and liberty, May our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit.
Amen. Shalom, shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Hovaich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Shabashamayim, Sur Yisrael, V'golo, V'arechet Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Tzmichat Ulatenu, Hagen Aleha B'Yevrat Chasdecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orcha V'Amitecha, L'Rasheha, Sareha V'Yoetzeha, V'Taknim B'Etza Tova Milfanecha, V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'Simchat Olam Liyoshveha, V'Nomar Amen. Marilyn, how about the English at the bottom of 259?
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fulfillment of joy for all who dwell there.
Amen.
Amen. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. We are at the last of the Parshiot in the book of Shemot, Parshat Pekudei, and it finishes off the first chapter of our people's history. All right, now people say, but the first book, Rabbi, of the Torah is Genesis. Why isn't that the first book of our history? Well, because we weren't a nation. We weren't a people. We were starting to be, and those legends help us with the backstory. But starting in the book of Exodus, we are a people. And so we're finishing off the first chapter of our history. And if you're an accountant, or if you like numbers, this is the Parsha for you. Everything in it that has been used, everything that has been used in the building of the Mishkan, in the portable sanctuary, is being recorded. Again, we get all the details of the materials used to make the priestly garments, the breastplate, the robe, the ephod. The Mishkan is now complete, and Moshe is told to dedicate it on the first day of the first month, which is the month of Nisan, a little over 3 weeks away. The Aron, the ark, the Shulchan, the table, the menorah, the lamps, along with any other furniture and utensils, are now placed into the Mishkan. Aharon and his sons are anointed as the priests, and Moshe lights the menorah and offers sacrifices. The Parsha ends with a cloud hovering over the Mishkan, and that indicates God's presence with the children of Israel. When the cloud lifts and starts to move, that's a signal for the children of Israel, for Bnei Yisrael, to break camp and follow it. And it's a further sign that God is with them. Next week, we begin the book of Vayikra, which has nothing to do with history, but it's all about ritual and all about what our ancestors did in order to draw close to God. This week, no new mitzvot, 0 mitzvot, and this is your parsha in a nutshell. Shabbat Shalom. So it was 60 years ago today. Sergeant Pepper. Well, no, that's a different thing. But it was 60 years ago, recently, that it was the 60th anniversary of the Beatles' appearance on Ed Sullivan. Now, I was not even a glimmer in my father's eye at that point, but I came out of the womb waiting to be introduced to the Beatles. There was their first appearance on Ed Sullivan, and the world was forever changed. It was never the same. When I interviewed for my first job way back in 2001, one of the questions that the interview committee had was kind of a fun question. They just wanted to see how you reacted. Beatles or Stones? Right? Are you a Beatles fan or a Rolling Stones fan?
Both.
Well, that's with me. They're both. Early Rolling Stones, when they were heavily blues influenced, and later Beatles, when they were, well, not popish. They're early. Never mind. But for almost as long as I've been a Pink Floyd fan and an Allman Brothers fan, I've been a Beatles fan. Though, to be honest, and now this is where I get to complain a little bit, that poppy stuff that they did at the very beginning, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Love Me Do, makes me want to put chopsticks in my ears. I just don't like it. But later, after maybe the White Album and Abbey Road and Rubber Soul, that's when they start to, I think they hit their stride. But regardless, their music still inspires me, although I've listened to it now for 56 years. And it's funny that although there weren't any Jews in the group, but later pictures of John Lennon when he let his hair grow and his beard grow, and George Harrison especially when he let his hair grow and beard grow, they looked like Hasidic Rebbe's, especially when George had that flat-brimmed hat. He looked, like he just stepped out of Brooklyn and was ready to quote a Yiddish joke. But, the Beatles and the Jews go together. And there is a lot more connection between the Beatles and Jews that we might think. For example, we know their managers, right? Their very first manager, the most famous manager, Brian Epstein, he was Jewish. Their second manager, Alan Klein, with a name like Alan Klein, you can't be a Methodist, right? You're just not allowed. And at the end, towards the end of the career, they brought in Phil Spector, who absolutely destroyed the Let It Be album. And then many years later, 40 years later, they cleaned it up, took all that nonsense that he put on, and it's actually an amazing album. John Lennon, to be honest, because I know some of you might know this, was known to make anti-Semitic jokes and comments. And I'm not defending him because that would be wrong. Not defending him would be wrong. But he also made anti-everything comments and jokes. He was an equal opportunity offender. He didn't care what you were, who you were. If he could offend you, if he could tell a joke about you, he would. But I don't think he hated the Jews. If he did, I don't think Brian Epstein would have lasted as the manager. Abbey Road. Remember that famous picture of them crossing the street, right? That's in a Jewish neighborhood in London. There are a ton of synagogues in and around that area. Abbey Road is in St. John's Wood in London, and it's filled with Jews. And so there you go. Sir Paul McCartney, two of his three wives were Jewish. Linda Eastman, his first wife, was Jewish. And now the woman that he's married to, his third and current wife, Nancy Shevell, is also Jewish. But the thing that got me, or the thing that always gets me, is in 1969, John and Yoko, before she destroyed the band, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. John and Yoko had a bunch of bed-ins, right? You'll remember they were on the cover of the Rolling Stone. All sorts of, they just took to their bed in the attempt to bring peace to the world. And in 1969, they had a bed-in in Montreal. And Rabbi Abraham Feinberg, how could you be anything else, right, but a Jew? He was the Rabbi Emeritus at Holy Blossom Temple. How's that for a name of a synagogue in Toronto? And at the time, it was the largest Reform congregation in Canada. He stopped by to make a visit. Just walked in, started chatting with John and Yoko, And that visit got him a shout out in Give Peace a Chance. That famous anti-war song, right? And you'll remember, you'll hear, when you hear me read the verse, you'll know everybody's talking about ministers, sinisters, banisters, and canisters, bishops, fishops, and rabbis, and Popeyes, and bye-byes. Why is the rabbi mentioned in there? It's because the rabbi stopped by to wish them well and to give them a bracha. Love that little bit of trivia. But the point is that unlike a lot of bands, the Beatles not only sang about making the world a better place, we call that tikkun olam. In their personal lives, they did. They tried to make it a better place. John and Yoko for peace, George for peace, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr all had their pieces played their parts and had their roles in making the world a better place, not just through their music, but also through what they did in trying to make the world a better place. They weren't perfect at it, nobody is. But, you know, if there ever needed to be a Jewish group, I think it would be the Beatles. The Beatlesteins or the Shratzim or something, right? And there's actually a Hebrew version of Let It Be. And the woman who sang it and wrote it, it's not a direct translation, but later she went and incorporated a translation of it into her song. And it's a very moving song. And like most of the Beatles music, whether it's the pop at the beginning or the really, really, really serious stuff at the end, they used their music for Tikkun Olam. And I think they did a good job. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Good job.
Sinisters, banisters, and canisters, bishops and rabbis. There you go. You never know. Maury, what time is it?
Kadoosh.
It's Kiddush time. It's Kiddush time. So I'll ask everybody to please rise for Kiddush for Friday night. Vayer vayiboker yom hashishi vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam vayachal Elohim vayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot vayom hashvi mikol lachto asher asa vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayikadesh oto kivo Shabbat Mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Savri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'ratza banu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzot inchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lamikrei kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim. Kivanu bacharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim. V'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat. Please remain standing, page 282, to begin to close out our service with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit kedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, Shelo Sachel Kinu Kahem, Vigor Aleinu Kechol HaOnam, Va'anachnu Korim, Mishpachavim Umodim, Leifnei Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shamayim V'Yosei Haaretz, U'Moshe B'Karo B'Shamayim B'Mahal, U'Shchinatu Zo, V'Govei Meromi, U'Eloheinu Eino, Emet Lokeinu Efesu Lato, Kakatu V'Torato, Yadata Hayom V'Hashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, Bashamayim Bimal, V'al Haaretz, Mitachat Eino. Kakatu b'tortecha Adonai imloch li'olam v'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz v'ayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemo U'shemo echad. You may be seated. We are in the Shloshim for High Weed, who was buried today. This week we observed the following yahrzeits: Louis Maury Greenstein, Irving's uncle, Harry's brother; Bernard Levine, Ethel's son, Mo's brother, Regina's uncle; Lena Silverstein, Fred's mother, Abraham's wife; Judge Fred Kaplan, Ed Island's brother-in-law; Harry Fallon, Edith's husband, father of Elaine, Denise, and Ron; Morris Hartz, Maury's uncle, married to Anna and father of Sandy; Richard Weil, husband of Daphne, father of Melinda and Benjamin; Jack Fish, father of Borton; Jackie Fish, Frances Fish Tompkins' sister; Sarah Fish, Pauline's cousin; Murray Klein, Mitch's father; Ella Romer, wife of Bert; Leonard S. Ross, Brant's father; Elaine Angel, wife of Abe; Rosa Levine, relative of Chuck and Loretta; Hoyt Luther Williams, Lee's father; Dr. Larry Gang, Lloyd Frankel's cousin, father of David, Robert, and Larry; Irvin J. Miller, Ed Gellin's cousin; Harold Radow, Mickey's husband; Steve Radow and Judy Woodruff's father; Herb Siegel, friend of Diane Shaddles; Harry Silverman, Miriam Meadows' uncle; Rhonda Skoll White, Barrett and Elaine's daughter, Diane's sister; Mayor B. Firestein, father of Stephen; Dodie Frankel, wife of Harold, mother of Linda and Alan; Morris Glick, Herb Coulter's relative; David H. Goldberg; Irving Isidore, friend or relative of Brant Ross; Mildred Klein, Mitch Klein's grandmother; Charlotte Poland, Joan Weisberg's mother's sister-in-law; Edward Woodruff, Ed's father. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they always rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Ba'alma tivrach hivrtei v'yamlik malchutei, B'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah V'varach V'yolam Olameh Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmeid, kusha, brichu. Le'elam, b'kol, b'yirchata, b'shirata. Tushbachata, v'nechamata. La'amiram, ba'amav, v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama, brava, bin shemaya. L'chaim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. You may be seated. Shabbat shalom, everyone, and good Shabbos. This is birthday and anniversary Shabbat, and the birthdays for this month: Richard McLaughlin, Barbara Silverstein, Sydney McCourtney, Maxine L. Frankel, Mark R. Solocek, Tom Pressman, Shoshana Cabell, and Sharon Pressman. And the anniversaries this week on March 12th. March 12th. Sam Kincaid and James Morris Smith celebrated their 8th, official married anniversary. They've been together for much longer than 8 years, but happy anniversary to Sam and James, and Mr. and Mrs. Fred Silverstein, and Mr. and Mrs. Herman Glazer. The Silversteins, 54, and Herman and Mary Lee, 55. They can't drive 55, I guess. Mazal tov to all. For those who aren't here, see me next time you're in the synagogue, and you'll get your sweets. You'll get your full-sized Hershey bar. The full size, not the small ones. All right. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. Just a couple of quick announcements on my end. Hebrew 2 starts on Sunday at 1. And so if you already know your Aleph Bet, this is a class for you. Come in, learn how to pronounce longer words correctly, learn some grammar, and have the prayer book and the Torah open up to you. You'll be learning vocabulary that you can apply to every service, every prayer that you read. And so that's Sunday at 1, and we're still in the midst of the Tanakh class at 2. That's it. Now I'm going to have Hoyt come up. Hoyt is our president. I'm sure he has some messages, or at least one message. I don't know, maybe several.
Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Beatles.
Beatles.
All the Beatles.
All of them.
But I understand your complaint about the early stuff. It is
Yeah.
kind of popping
Yeah.
up.
The two most talented Beatles are dead, so that's John and George, and no arguments there. It's Shabbat.
Okay, it is. I won't argue. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock, services. I hope I'll see some of you there, but if not, I'll be there. I'll
Good.
see you there. Sunday, 9 o'clock services. I may or may not be there, but hopefully be there. And then we have study with the rabbi. He's already announced that at 1 and at 2.
Yeah.
And then we come to the Yiddish choir at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, and then we're back here on Friday. I would be remiss. I hate that expression. Who says that? Except when they're saying they would be remiss. Lawyers. I heard somebody say at a Fortune Feimster concert I was at a few months ago. Anybody here know Fortune Feimster? No? I know you do.
I would be remiss.
For the cool kids. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the raffle on April 14th. Okay? Sell your tickets or buy your tickets. I am selling tickets, and I hope that you're buying them if you're not selling them or doing both. But it is the 14th. I think we're doing pretty well in the sales. Our wonderful Vice President Mark Rosen's in charge of that, so you can ask him for details. Something else I want to announce. I want to just give you a little quote. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. With that in mind, the Jewish Cultural Festival will be proceeding on May 19th. I've sent you an email about that, and I hope people will be hitting me up. I've provided some more guidance in that. I think we had a few people that didn't know what it was, but now people know what it is, and people have discovered that it is. I will need help. We will need help with the food. So if you would like to help with the food, hit me up. Let me know. Toby, Shayna, and I are working with the entertainment. We're working also to coordinate the vendors, but we need help with the food. Now, when I say we need help with the food, you can do that individually. We're not expecting Sisterhood to do anything with it, but if they want to, they can certainly let me know. If they don't, that's fine. But I need help with that. We need help with that. This is important. We're Jewish. This is a good town. There are not a lot of crazies around here. So we need to remind them that we're here. The crazies are mostly the lawyers. Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Well done, sir.
Thanks.
All right. Last thing on my list that I had forgotten is next Saturday night. I think I called it for 7. It's Purim. And so we will be hearing the Megillah. We have a number of people reading in Hebrew. We have people wanting to read in English. We have a bit of a spiel. Come in costume, bring a box of pasta, usually macaroni, to use as a grogger, and then we will donate that pasta to a food bank or a shelter. And it is Adar, and so our happiness is increased. Right, so I used to have. Well, I guess I left them on my desk, but I'll put the signs up. And that's next Saturday night at 7. The Megillah, the Gansa Megillah, and you could cheer on Mordechai and Esther and boo that other guy. I can't remember his name, but when you hear it, you'll recognize it. And that's next Saturday night. And that's it. That's all my announcements. All right. There's a Kiddush sponsored by Brenda, or provided by Brenda, or brought in by Brenda. I mean, it's all Brenda. And so if you're not here, folks at home, you're missing out on Brenda's Oneg. Did I say Kiddush? I meant Oneg. Oneg is Friday night. Kiddush is Shabbat morning. But it always is good. And so if you're at home, too late, we've locked the doors. You can't get in. But next time. So we thank Brenda and Billy, because Billy's just a nice guy too. All right, let's close out on 321 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malvach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chepso Kol Azai Melech Tzmo Nikra V'Acharei Yiklot HaKol Levado imloch nora, vehu haya, vehu over, vehu yeh b'tifara, vehu echad, v'yein sheni. Laham shilo, lahat bihira, v'li reishit, v'li tachlit, v'lo haos, v'ham yisra, vehu eli, v'chai goli. V'tzor hevli b'yetzara, v'hu nisi umanosli, menat kosi b'yomekra, b'yahado avkid ruchi, b'yekdishan b'yahira, b'imruchi b'viati, Adonai li v'lo yira. She wasn't here last week, but as you notice, the green curtains are up and they are not falling apart on the rod, and that is because Marilyn schlepped them all over town to find somebody who would repair them, got them repaired, and brought them back, and now they're up and they look so much better. So thank you, Marilyn. All right, we got people on the intertubes saying hello to us. Let's see who they are. We have Linda Frankel, Shabbat Shalom. Linda Frankel in New York. Well, enjoy that New York weather. Jessica Miller, Shabbat Shalom. I got stuck behind a car wreck and was this late and couldn't get in. So I'm sitting outside in my car. Doorbell. There's a doorbell on the side. And so when you see it, just press it and somebody will get there. And Jessica writes, everyone was fine. It was a fender bender. Okay. There's Mom. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbi's Mom and Cliff from PA. Thanks, Mom and Cliff. And Donna Wilson. Stones or Beatles? Stones and early hard rock, always. Well, Donna, come on now. We're all on the same page here. I agree. Shabbat Shalom to all. Thank you, Donna. Same to you. All right, friends, we have a lot going on. Please join us for any and all. We are open come and join us, except if you're not here right now, then there's no oneg for you.
Yes.
Well, Jessica, if you're still out there, come and ring the doorbell. Since you're here and you're not just getting here, we'll have the oneg with you too. Now, there are 2 doorbells. Hit one or the other, and depending on where you are in the building, you'll hear one or the other. So that's it. Join us for any. There's the doorbell. And everybody have a Shabbat Shalom, a good Shabbos, and please be careful out there.
Hi, Linda Frankel.
Billy says hi, Linda Frankel.
Her dad's your side.